That's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Call to order the meeting of the Leavenworth City Council for July 22nd. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Sharon, you want to lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, roll call.
Sharon Waters.
Flint Strand,
Ann Hester.
Zeke Reister,
Jane Thayer.
Travis McMaster.
Mike Bedard.
All present. That's great. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
And seconded by Sharon, she's closest to me. All those in favor, let me see your hand. Passes unanimously. Now, as we move into other items, I just want to remind everyone that we are here, are respectful of each other. We acknowledge it's okay if we disagree. Prior to making comments, please be recognized by the chair. Come forward, state your name and address. Wait till you're recognized by the chair. Please address the council as a whole, not individuals. Keep your comments focused on the topic that's being discussed unless you are speaking to items not on the agenda. And with that, we'll move on to comments from the public on items that are not on the agenda. Anybody in our audience, or do we have anybody else?
We have 4 Zoom attendees. Nobody's raised their hand.
Nobody's raising. Okay, seeing none, then we will move on to our presentations by our public safety reports. Randy Lake.
Good afternoon. For June, the city contract hours reported was 665 with 10 hours to fill downtown. So there was 39 instances reported, 50 citations issued in 1 month. Couple of criminal arrests at that they're shoplifting, assault second degree, and some driving. So suspended first and third. Lot to report, been pretty quiet. Got cameras issued this week.
Oh,
All right. The body cameras. Them getting just car cameras anymore.
Okay,
So that's nice. They can go with us and be where we're at instead of just out in front of our car. But that just happened this week.
I was gonna say, is it on there?
It is. It's not on right now,
It's all that menage of stuff then.
but it's in the middle of all of my stuff. It's in there on the chest.
just out of curiosity, Randy, what's the protocol for when you turn it on?
Yeah. On contacts. I was trying to read through the policy this morning, second it, field reports, pretty much all contact, not necessarily just a field contact that doesn't have anything to do. You're just saying hi to somebody, et cetera, et cetera. And then it's easy to turn on if it does start to become confrontational or something. Just double tap it, comes on. Have it, turn it off, title it. Then there's docking stations at each of the offices. Put it in and self-download, so you can do it yourself on the computer. And then review it later. When it's on, it's technically recording all the time, unless you put it in sleep mode. Which we were cautioned to do if you go use the restroom or anything. It is actually, like I say, it can be recording all the time. So you can go back and record after the fact. But it has a lot of nice features that we're not answering a status or anything, I guess they can actually pull it up and see a live view. To see if I'm in some type of trouble or something and didn't activate it on my own. Things like that, like. To sleep mode a lot. So that it doesn't get accidentally turned on when I'm not doing something.
So it's connected to your phone through Bluetooth somehow to relay?
I have no idea. So I've told you many times as my abilities.
You're right.
I don't know.
Well, you guys get lots of records requests. Are you anticipating with the new
Okay.
technology, you'll get requests
More.
for
Probably.
Yeah.
They get a lot of record requests,
that? Yeah.
a little bit of everybody, but certain people tend to ask a lot.
Mm-hmm. Those kind, don't
I
we?
have two questions.
Sure.
Number one, how much did the camera cost, or do you know?
I don't have any idea. I believe they were through a grant
Okay,
and it's been in the process for quite a while. So it took quite a bit to get them. Pretty sure it's a grant. I can check for you.
I'm just curious. And on your list under offenses by location, the scam, you had one scam. I was just curious what that was.
It's usually the phone scams. I actually get them myself. I'm sure you probably all do. You have your phones. It's people call and report the scams.
Okay,
Yeah, most time I just delete and block the phone number. There's a couple where they do the trying to pretend they're an officer, telling you have a warrant, send some money now.
Yep, I got one of those
Yeah.
and I called Mike Morrison. And I told them when they were talking to me that, do you realize you're talking to the mayor and I know the sheriff? And they did, they had a name, it wasn't the sheriff, but it was one of your deputies' names. They call and then they call back using a sheriff number. I mean, they're pretty sophisticated.
They can spoof, you can spoof the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they spoofed the numbers, they do all of that, they knew the names, they do all of that, and they were trying to get me to pay up because I didn't report for federal jury duty over in Spokane. And it was like,
Shame on you.
I know, it was crazy. Yeah, but it was like $800 or something for outstanding warrant.
Good than that, I apparently go through a lot of the west side toll bridges.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, I go to the west side,
Pretty well in Virginia.
terribly, but I get a lot of those texts.
Yeah.
They just want you to click on the links.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Not real. It only freaks me out when I've actually been over there and then get back.
But I was not in British.
I realize the question I'm gonna ask you is entirely subjective, so personal opinion. You mentioned that it was pretty slow. It's been pretty slow over the last month and change. How slow is slow? Like, is it, or is it, wow, I'm not gonna say the word dead, but it is really slow. Like, there is not, which is a great thing from a law enforcement standpoint, but what do you think?
I guess I say that because there hasn't been any large stuff going on that's catching my attention out here. When I left Monday afternoon after a meeting here at the office, I was leaving town to go at noon and it was back all the way up to Praise. I was actually thinking, it's Monday afternoon. It's traffic. Yeah. And if I go back, I have to use the north road, but, so it's, people wise, I think it's fairly busy.
Yeah.
It's just not, it hasn't been for us out here for calls.
Knock on wood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great.
good.
Brenda, I had a-
Started a new park, some park rules to try and get control of their parks again. And that's been a pain.
Who is that, Randy?
You ever go up there lakeside and
Oh.
Don Morris, typically people were getting there at 5:30 AM from all over the state and fighting for spots, setting up for the entire day. You couldn't just go use the park for a couple hours anymore. They literally lined from one end to the other, shoulder to shoulder. You couldn't just go and enjoy the park. It wasn't a city park anymore. It was just day camp. So they put in a lot of rules. Absolutely no dogs, no smoking, no vaping, no tobacco of any kind, no barbecues, the big one. And they have a couple of citizens let us know about the 87 barbecues that show up on the weekends. So that's kind of the champagne and the bridge jumping. That always did when we were young.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That kind of stuff. So Cheyenne's been.
Yeah,
Any other questions?
Thank you.
I did have one simple question, Red. Do you have any idea how much, you take that vest off, how much weight you lose with that thing?
30 pounds.
I was thinking.
Wow.
Okay.
I only have 60 yet. I sure to go. I wish I could take the other 60 off like I do.
Like you do.
Definitely feels good to take the best off.
All right, well, thank you.
Thanks, Andy. Good evening.
And Mike.
30-pound weighted vest.
That is
Goodness.
a bit of weight.
It's like a workout every day.
All
Yeah.
right, so for us, the fire season right now is full swing. It's kind of our busiest time of year. People start to get tired and things like that. We've been responding to mutual aid kind of throughout the area. We haven't had anything here since the fire in early June in the Tumwater. At the time of this, our type 3 brush truck was on the Hope Fire in Stevens County. They're back now. They've been out 3 times now to 3 separate fires throughout the state. That's kind of the name of the game, as they're requested throughout the summer. If we have it available, if we have the apparatus and the personnel, we'll send them out to assist wherever it's asked for in the state. We also, as far as training, we had a swiftwater rescue technician class. We had someone come in and teach it to 5 of our members at one time. We kind of lost a few over the last several years just through attrition. Most of them got hired at career agencies. But that gets us back up to 10. We like to have, a couple on at any given time, right? You kind of need to effect the rescue safely. So we just kind of try to keep our numbers up on that. We had 2 members go to the DNR Interagency Fire Academy and tell at the State Fire Academy in North Bend. We had a new volunteer come in. He kind of missed all the basic training. We said, well, hey, if you want to come in and volunteer, become a wildland firefighter. He was willing to go there. He went there for an entire week to get all of the training he needed, the field day, live burn, all those things. Then we had another, one of our career firefighters went to take the classes he needs for his engine boss. So the DNR offers that. They used to do it, a local one in Glee, but right now they're just doing a statewide one in North Bend. But it's a great resource for us. So far, we responded to, as of the 9th, we were at 361 calls for 2025. We were at 377 that same day in 2024. We did respond. I guess it ended up being named the White Pine Fire. That was on the first week of July up at Highway 2 near Coles Corner. We provided a brush truck and a tender. Captain Wells was used as the operations section chief for the incident. The fire growth was stopped that night and they considered it contained the next day. We also had Captain Wells requested, we have a local professional arborist who volunteers with us. He requested that he can come out for some hazard trees. So we actually did send an additional brush truck that wasn't mentioned on here. Marcus Wells is also out. He's on incident Northwest Team 14 or 12, Northwest Team 12. He's been up on the homeless fire for the last 2 weeks. We should get him back tomorrow And he already had vacation planned, so good for him. Right, I get my vacation done in June. Any questions?
Question?
How does the Swiftwater Rescue, I understand the sheriff has a water rescue team as well, right? So who's the primary Swiftwater?
They have the primary responsibility, the sheriff's office does. Most of the guys and gals are on the county team as well. And we do training with them and everything, so we really kind of coexist and we'll intermingle, whenever we need to. They usually get a couple deputies down, a couple of our guys will hop on a boat if we need to do that. Or just, whatever the, Lake Wenatchee has a lot of swimmers and, we'll just, depending on the breadth of the incident, complexity, golfers we use we need, but a lot of times, if they don't have a deputy right here in town at the time, they're coming from Wenatchee, those kind of incidents are over in, 10 minutes and stuff.
Any other questions? So Selby, you should have one for him.
Question?
Yeah, what was it you saw going by this afternoon?
Oh, we saw a ladder truck going north on two, or west on two. At around 2:00,
Around
2:15.
Yeah, so they're putting on training for the volunteers tonight, our drills on Tuesday night, and they are training on the ladder truck tonight, so the career staff went out from 2:00 to 4:00, and they did their own, basically what they're gonna do tonight. Both so that they get the opportunity to train, and also so that they're lined out, everybody's on the same page for the training. So they're over at Ernst, and I don't know where they were going earlier, they're probably picking random spots to deploy.
And they had the sirens going, so.
Oh, they got an 8 call in the middle of training, sorry.
I was wondering why they're responding with a ladder truck.
Yeah, they were just in the middle of training, and that's sort of their dream.
All right.
Oh, that's so great. We get the opportunity to.
Right?
The environment.
3 or 4 times they get to take that truck to Wenatchee every year, every once in the blue moon, on training unit, so.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Yes, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. So our next item is we get to honor somebody that's a part of our community for being acknowledged by the state. And I'm gonna have you come up and make you stand up here while I read what the Washington State Recycling Association has said about our dear Robette. Robette Schmidt of Winton Manufacturing Compost Works in Leavenworth, Washington, is the 2025 WSRA Individual Recycler of the Year. She has spent countless hours going far beyond being a spokesperson for her company to become a lighthouse for change in her community. Described as, I love this, the Energizer Bunny of compost.
There's a real compliment.
She has fought through resistance over the fate of food waste management in the Wenatchee Valley, maintaining a collaborative can-do attitude through it all. Robette Schmidt is a tireless advocate for improving both the implementation of Washington State's existing organic management laws and for passing additional organic management legislation that will improve recovery, increase diversion, and reduce consumer confusion. She was instrumental in the successful push to establish the first Business Organics Management Area, BOMA as it's known, on the east side of the Cascades in an area that did not have a history of organic diversion. So Robette, thank you. Glad to have you as part of our community and a good team member for us. So thank you.
I have to say something here because I had a grandson that worked up there for a while and I got to know Robette a long time ago. And as she, the years have gone on, she's here, then she's over here, she's just all over the place and working very, very hard for composting and for Winton. And
Great.
very much appreciated.
Thank you all for that. It's really a reflection of our community. I couldn't be who I am our community. So as much as it was for me, it was for everybody. So helpful in getting organics and with our grants and everything else that's happened. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, now we'll move on to our action items, resolution 19-2025. Selby.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, if you recall this from our study session last meeting, at the request of Mark Myers from the Adjournment group, we put forth a resolution for you guys to consider encouraging Amtrak to request their budget. Because at that point in time, when he reached out to me in April, they hadn't yet. We did hear from Chase Kitchen from Amtrak last weekend, or sorry, 2 weeks ago during the meeting. He offered to offer some revisions to the resolution. The item before you today includes those revisions. We have both Mark and Chase on the Zoom today to answer any questions you may have about what is before you for your consideration.
Questions? I would entertain a motion.
Leavenworth City Council moves to approve resolution 19-2025 for continued federal funding of the Amtrak Long Distance Network.
Second.
Moved by Zeke, seconded by Shane. Any other questions?
So this resolution reflects the work that you've done with Chase from Amtrak, is that correct?
Yes, but we also have Mark here on the screen, who has unmuted and turned his video on. So I don't know, Mark, did you want to address the council at this point?
Well, yes, I do. And thank you so much for inviting me and having interest in this. My camera isn't.
Yeah.
Actually had somebody come and clean here for the first time in a while, and I don't know, the camera got messed up. So I think I'll probably move it so you can see what I look like. But anyway, I just wanted to point out that I appreciate the resolution, but I just want to make sure you understand the purpose of it, of why I wrote to you. And it wasn't, I mean, a lot of people, we all should support Amtrak service, and that's an ongoing thing. The reason I wrote the original letter was to tell you of the ongoing threat to the service. And the ongoing threat is that the equipment is so old on these trains now that it's likely to expire before anything new is being built. And the difference now is there's been a lot of threats. I've been following Amtrak since its inception 54 and a half years ago. And the big problem here now is the big threat from Amtrak is internal. The threat is Amtrak. It has, and I would ask Mr. Kitchen later, is what is the plan to keep the Empire Builder going until at least 2029 when it turns 100 years old? But beyond that, there currently is no new replacement equipment on order. There has been money available since November of 2021, and Amtrak still hasn't finalized a design for new cars, and they haven't selected a manufacturer. So the best case scenario is we're 8 to 10 years away. And if anybody is actually following Amtrak, they're just having really, really bad summer. In fact, the Empire Builder that went through Leavenworth yesterday, it was a short sleeping car because Chicago bad ordered one, and the Portland sleeping car, which is on the section of the train that goes through like Pasco and Wishram, had no air conditioning. So this equipment is really wearing out. And so the purpose of notifying you was not that, yes, I want you to support Amtrak because I want you to, but to notify your Congress people that the elected officials, because they're the ones with a lot of clout, especially the mayors, because these Congress people listen to mayors, and that the service is threatened because the equipment's going to wear out before anything new is available. And just if you follow this, you just have to Google it. You'll see that Amtrak is a transportation mode that's in crisis again this summer. So that was my purpose. I'm not going to tell you how to write your resolution. That's up to you. But I just want to point out it just wasn't an attempt to just say, yes, we support Amtrak. It goes way beyond that. It's about its survival. And I'll take any questions that anybody has.
Ask a question.
I wouldn't mind hearing a response from Chase.
Does Chase want to chime in?
Yeah, I can add a little bit of context. I appreciate Mark's concerns and worries about the future of Amtrak service. You know, we do have a 5-year strategic plan, right? Folks can go and go look at that and see our plans to continue the service. We, in our FY26 appropriations this year, have $25.8 million that we would like to put to work to refurbishing the current equipment. No need to deny that equipment is old and it has its challenges. And we do the best with the service. And we're experiencing record ridership, right? In the network. Last year, we're going to beat last year's numbers again this year, right? So there's a lot of positive stuff. Our procurement for the long distance fleet is ongoing, and yeah, it's taking a little bit of time. But as we were just talking about, we're dealing with equipment that is 40 years old. And we may be dealing with equipment that is 40 years old again in the future. And that's what we're, trying to take our time right now to make sure that we get everything lined up and right. And, the equipment is good and ready to go. So, yeah, I mean, yes, there are challenges, but we got a lot of good stuff working in the future. So.
Can I make a comment on that?
Sure.
Okay, the $25.3 million, you can call it refurbishment or whatever. In 2023, 2024, Amtrak allocated $28 million toward the long distance fleet, and they called it refreshing, not refurbishment. So, and what that was just new drapes, new carpet, whatever. That worked out to about $62,000 per car. This $25.3 million, if applied to all 499 Superliner and Viewliner cars, comes out to about $51,000 a car. It doesn't address any mechanical, electrical, or plumbing issues. So it's kind of like a lipstick on a pig thing. It isn't going to help the cars stay viable until new stuff arrives. And so to renovate these cars will take millions of dollars each, because it's estimated that to create new equipment will cost about $5 million a car. So when you're only spending $50,000, you can call it refurbishment or whatever, but it isn't going to do what's necessary. These cars need a complete rehaul, and this has been done before. Via Rail Canada, on its train across Canada, and that equipment's getting really old, but it's 70 years old this year, and that's because they actually have done refurbishment. So this can be done. So my question to Mr. Kitchen is, why won't Amtrak do this? And what specifically, or why do you think that the equipment, given the myriad failures you've had, just look at the endpoint performance of the Chicago to Miami Floridian since its inception, what makes you think that your equipment will last another 10 years?
Mr. Mayor? Yeah. We're probably not gonna solve this tonight. So I would say that we've got something before us that says what we can do. I'm willing to definitely contact our legislators and make them aware that we think more investment would be wise. But yeah, I think we've got enough information and back and forth for now. So
And I appreciate that. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Chase, for checking in, for attending.
Yes. Thank you both. All right. We need a vote. All right. All those in favor of passing this, let me see your hands. And it is unanimous. We will send this on and let our thoughts be known. The next item is project acceptance. Andy.
Yes, so again, I like to put the project acceptance on the regular agenda, so you have an opportunity to talk about it. If you want me to just put them on the consent agenda, or please tell me, I know that was past practice, but so seriously, it'll be pretty fun. But really, this is the acceptance of the program improvement project that was completed earlier this year. It was like 10% grant funded, the other remaining 10% was out of the city street fund. And ultimately, the construction cost of $277,342. And this addressed the programs on Commercial Street and then also on Street.
Questions?
Back to your request for feedback, I guess. So the past practice was, I mean, this is, we're approving contract that was already approved. And we're basically saying that they've done the work, go ahead and pay them, pay it out, right?
Yeah, it's kind of the last opportunity to comment. We can't start any of the closeout. This is the first phase of the closeout paperwork. So once the council accepts the project, then we can file all the notices we need to and start the process to release retainage. But we can't do that until we get council's approval. I haven't ever had it so far where the council has had something and doesn't accept the project.
And the contractor's been paid up to this point.
Yeah.
But again, we do still have that 5% retainage or some off for retainage bonds. So anyway,
Yeah.
I just wanted to know your thoughts. If you want it on a normal agenda like this, or you don't care, it's one on consent.
I think consent is fine, unless you have something you'd like us to be aware of.
The problem is
No, I think I started pulling off consent just because there were new council members, so I think that was something that was brought up was, hey, people don't know what this project is, can you explain what it is? That way we can have a discussion, but if y'all feel up to speed on the projects, I can just put it back on. I'm getting two nods, so I'll plan to do that.
So I think a consent agenda is probably a good place for it, unless you think, unless you think there's more that we need to know about.
Perfect, will do. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Andy.
Leavenworth City Council moves to accept the curb ramp improvements project and authorize the mayor to execute associate final contract voucher certificate.
Second.
Moved by Travis, seconded by Ian. All those in favor, let me see your hands. It passes unanimously. All right, Maggie, the discussion, notice of intent to own it.
Yes, thank you, council. I just have this pulled up. I take a lot of time since you've done an initial first look. We received a request, notice of intent to annex from Tomlin of Wolfman LLC. Annex this larger parcel here. It's about a little over 33 acres. A lot of it is very steep. It's split zoned. The northern portion is multifamily. Southern portion is close commercial. I'm required to bring this to you to provide direction if you would like me to move it forward. I will also, if I do move it forward, we'll probably piggyback with the Fleeter property that we already discussed. We may have an issue with the boundary review board and to find it with this application. So any thoughts or questions?
So this is one of our plans. This is in our area that we're.
Urban growth area.
So this is in
Yeah, but
yeah, this is the current city limits line, this purple. So it's in the urban growth area.
do we just kind of get these as they come on top of this restricted future plan of annexing in more and more through the county and
People
process?
in these cases, every case that you guys have seen, the owners petition to be annexed in.
Yeah, okay, so that just kind of naturally occurs as we still look to the future of annexing in some future time. You just,
Right. So those areas that are within the urban growth area are designated urban growth so that we can annex them.
so it's just easier with the county too. This is just this is easier because the county's already aware that. Making it super simplistic, maybe I'm making it more complicated, like trying to make it
So
simplistic in my
we
head.
can't annex property unless it's in the urban growth area, so and it has to be, contiguous.
Contiguous.
And so that's where we have an issue with this one is a point considered contiguous or not? That was the question.
And then it's just, any pushback from the county ever on these, or they're just go with it?
For larger parcels, I mean, this one's not developed yet, so that's less concerning. If it were a developed lot that was in the county and they were receiving the benefit of the taxes from that, that would be different. But because it is a vacant lot, that makes it a little easier, and there is a large amount that is very steep and will be able to build on. There's also a wetland on this property too.
Yeah.
But it is contiguous with the city limits. There's a availability to do multifamily potentially, which is great. We don't have very many of those
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
I don't know what the overall plan is. We've had discussions here and there. There's no plan in place.
Yeah.
Unless anyone. But what would be great is, I mean, right here, we have West Benton just ending, so. If this were developed, it would extend services, which is great. Anyway, I need to get an idea of what the council feels, if you'd like me to move this forward, and I did want to give you the heads up that I will probably be discussing with Tom Lynn about, finding this and the FLIBO request together to reprocess.
So Maggie, is it
Sorry.
I'm colorblind, so just bear with me. So you got the orange and then you got the purple.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I turned on the zoning so you can see the split layers, it's really hard. So this is all one parcel, but because it's been boundary line adjusted so many times, the zoning doesn't go with boundary line adjustments, that's why it looks a little wonky. So the southern half is, in the pink is the tourist commercial zone. The orangish color is the.
Multi-family?
Yeah.
Okay. And is there actually, I suppose there is, do you have any idea would actually like 10 acres up there you could build something on, or is it, I mean, have any idea?
I don't have all that information, but I would be happy to get it for you. I could do some easy, I could pull the ELA, the boundary line adjustment, to get that information.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah,
about, like,
I
'cause I know
can
it's
pull it.
really steep, it's, I mean,
Yeah,
It's a cliff.
there's some chunks.
yes.
There's some developable areas though.
Yeah, that's what I,
There's some flat areas on there.
yeah.
But yeah, I'll get that data.
Okay.
Sounds like we need to adjust the system development charge pretty soon.
Oh, now you want it.
Yeah, now you want it.
Yeah.
Well played. So, sounds like I have a little direction to go ahead and move this forward, and so the next time you see this, it'll be requesting, a public notice, public hearing process, and so.
Can it, before we get all excited about it, can we see it like maybe it's planned? Because right now, when you look at it, nobody can build really like a section. Or am I not seeing the whole picture?
I just don't have a plan.
Yeah, I look at it and it's just rocks and the hillside and is there something hidden where it's all flat or?
You can kind of see the topography here, that, yeah, there is some steep, very steep slopes here. There are some flatter areas, and it's amazing what people can do with some engineering.
To quote our city engineer from a meeting this morning with the downtown steering committee. We can design anything, just a matter of how much money you want to spend.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Okay, and it wouldn't be us spending the money.
No.
Yeah, okay.
No,
Sitting on.
all that we decide is to bring it in or not.
Right.
I mean, that's, again, just like it was with the guy that wanted to do his individual one. We don't get a design, we don't get anything, we wanna let him come into the city, so.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from the imagery.
There we go.
It is very hard from an aerial view on what it looks like. I'd be happy to.
You see that,
Walk it.
see the pond right there.
Yeah.
Earth gives you a good.
Is that adjacent to, who's up there? Okay.
So this is the Johnson property.
Johnson's.
Okay.
Burgers right here.
I was thinking who's north, yeah, up in there.
Marson property?
Yeah, that's my parents' backyard.
Or
front yard.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's your house?
I'm trying to see where the heck this is really hard, because there's, I don't know where the streets are.
Yeah.
Can't tell what. Looking for that.
Yeah, so this is Mill
Mill
Street.
Street is right there.
you pointed the roundabout, that's a good reference point.
Okay, so Mill Street and then Larson Drive is left, so where's that?
That's up
That's
here.
up.
Oh, here,
Okay.
okay.
This is
That's your-
down here.
Yeah, that's my parents' house.
Your pond is right
This is
off of that.
Right about there.
Marston's-
Yeah,
Right.
So this was,
It's just along this part, south property line,
I think it's down.
and the north property line is this.
Yeah,
So
this is our-
part of the, most of the pond
it's
is
the quarry.
gonna be annexed, is that what I? or
Most of
not?
the pond is on his, yeah.
Yeah,
Developed.
I live across the street. from the
Annex
pond.
this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got Google Earth if you want.
I just have our city.
Chester?
City and-
Yeah.
That's up top.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause there's Chester
Yeah.
South.
Okay.
Or, and it's not.
So it's driveway goes down that. My parents' house.
So here's the roundabout. You can see the slopes.
Cool.
It's very
Not much flat part. No.
strong.
And then if you go to the north, you can see here's the pond, which is also on the property.
Wasn't there an Indian
on that
burial
property?
ground up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly on.
It's Ed Potter's old property.
Huh? Wasn't there an Indian burial ground up there?
That I was told is behind the Heidelberger somewhere.
Yeah.
That's in that
Frogs are
same
croaking
area.
at night.
It's on Water Mason Cemetery. It's even right there on Google Earth.
Frogs croaking since you were a kid.
Yeah, that's
Same
not
area.
part of this.
Not part of
So
Part
this
of
is
this-
part of that, like, this is just the annexation portion. If this gets developed, if it gets annexed, it's development permit, they'll go through a public process again. It'll require a geo assessment, it'll require wetland delineation, it'll require a geological survey. It will require all those things in order to determine
Right.
buildability and where, and so there will be a public process. Beyond this, this is just a boundary, allowing it to annex. So I don't have a proposal to share with you, because I don't know what will happen, so.
And so just so I can
Yeah.
get squared away with it. So let's say it goes through and Tomlin has the property. Anything he puts on the property, since he lives in the city, does he need to come to the city to get permission to do it, like this flat, the pool?
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
Everything would, if it gets annexed, it's in the city, so it would all be developed through the city process.
And it gets annexed by us voting it or elsewhere?
Which would actually make
And
it
the
easier for us to
boundary
control.
The boundary review.
It'd be better that it's in the city because we can control it. Right now, it's in the county and it's a little, as we saw with the cross, a little more challenging. He's gonna develop it. I'd rather have us make decisions on the property than the county, right?
Not sure.
Like the cross was a good example of that, right? That's in the county. If we controlled that, it's a little different, right? So now if he annexes this into the city, we have more control over what he develops than we currently do.
So if he wanted to build something on it and was not in the city,
We would,
then
yeah.
he needs to call or talk to county.
County. But if he annexes it to us, now we have a little bit more control.
I probably shouldn't say anything else.
I feel like that was a good thing. Okay, so we will prepare the next steps to bring to you and start
Okay.
that process. Okay, that was the last item. Council report, Sharon.
I do not have one tonight.
What?
We're at here really soon.
Well, I've been so busy with the pool and everything that, I forgot to write one to tell the truth. No biggie.
Done.
Okay.
John.
Mosquito control board?
How is that possible, Sharon?
No mosquito control board,
Nothing.
Nothing, Phil?
nothing.
Last week I attended 2 different committee meetings. I attended the Link Transit Board meeting. Link is surplusing a lot at the beginning of Hay Canyon, because they have developed what was needed there and they're holding some land there for a future, small park and ride. But other than that, they've got land that they can surplus, so they're gonna put that on the market. Leavenworth continues to break boarding records for Link Transit. We are a very popular route. We have 3 different routes, so that also helps. But this last month, we increased our ridership on all 3 routes and we're at almost 20,000 boardings a month now,
Holy cow.
which is pretty awesome. I also attended the parking committee and we discussed potentially putting sensors in the park and rides in coordination with Link Transit. And so we discussed reaching out to Link and, feeling out whether or not they would support something like that and whether or not there would be any potential issues with driving traffic and making it readily apparent that there are open free parking stalls. One of the points that I had brought up is that they oftentimes receive a lot of public funding specific for creating park and rides that are to be used as park and rides, not free parking lots. So we just need to see if there's going to
Figure
be
that
any
out.
issue with us actually very publicly driving people to park there and not be using it for transit.
But we did counter that. If we're direct them toward the Vilkeman Park and Ride behind Safeway, likelihood is they would get on the bus.
Oh, yeah, they would use
Yeah,
the shuttle.
I would get the shuttle.
Absolutely. Yep.
So
At least
Shannon and I discussed this after the meeting and think we'll withdraw the one on the US Forest Service parcel,
I don't think it hurts to
but
ask.
include the one on
Right.
Safeway.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts to ask. Maybe in partnership with, and also use the shuttle.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay, so, one thing I have is the downtown steering committee meeting. I know, Doug's got a whole bevy of things to talk about on that. I'll just say this, that Shannon reported that.
Does he?
Shannon reported that the parking brought in $349,000 this for June. So that was a chunk. And she said, good news was that the compliance is going up and the fees are going down and people are just paying now because they're getting it works. The whole thing is working, falling into place with the equipment that we've got. And then the people she's hired are really dedicated folks. So it's really coming together. And Troy mentioned the fact that footfalls are off. This wasn't his report, but we were just kind of chit-chatting. I asked him if Canadian tourists had a factor there. He said, yes, it has. Canadians are down by about 40%. So there's a big dent in the folks coming from Canada. That's enough for me. That's the end of my report.
On July 10th, I attended the PRSA meeting. We humbly accepted the $1,800 from the city to help fund the Upper Valley Aquatic Booster Splash Bash. And on behalf of the PRSA, we'd like to thank the council for approving these funds. We also had a good discussion regarding the future of the pool. We know that there's going to be some hard conversations and discussions in the next couple of years regarding keeping this pool alive or
Open it all.
open at all. But we're hopeful that there will be, a place for people to learn how to swim here in town. And as chair of the PRSA, I realized that I could do a better job of communicating certain things to other members of the PRSA. I know that there were some members that were not aware of the county assessor coming to the council meeting and discussing what had, transpired with the levy. So I will do a better job of communicating certain things to the PRSA as chair. And last week, on Wednesday, I volunteered my time to participate in the photo shoot for Cascade Medical Center. You might be
As the patient or the doctor?
patient. They need someone with biking gear on, so I came in with my pads and bike shorts and.
You look marvelous.
Did they bloody you all up?
Just gonna
Put
say-
scratches
No,
on them?
yeah, I mean, we had hoped to do pictures in the ER, but just so happened that the ER got pretty busy when I arrived to do my photo op, so the no rooms were available at the time.
They needed it for patient care, who knew?
I did get a free CT scan though.
That's like a
Well,
$2,500
a
value.
fake
Oh.
CT scan.
Just for fun.
Just for photos.
Could they have walked in and seen you after you wrecked on your bike?
Sign you up.
Right. That's the end of my report.
I did take line 22 home today from Wenatchee this afternoon. You're home before you know it. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
going home and taking emails and that's the long route, right? 122 is gonna get me home an hour later.
Right.
I attended the parking advisory committee meeting and did a great job explaining that. Good stuff. Moving along. I attended the PRSA meeting. Shane, you could do a better job. You do a good job. You do. People were aware.
Noted.
I noted. And I think you did a good job explaining what we did at the committee meeting. There's challenges ahead, I think, in the next, there's challenges ahead with the current pool, as we've kind of found out recently. But I've realized this only this past week that there's the community of Leavenworth and then there's the pool community. And I feel like we talk about the same, but the pool community is a rabid community, right? They're just so rabid in a good way, in that the pool is so important and they will do everything they can to defend it and make sure that we continue to have a pool. And so it's actually funny, after that meeting, a couple days later, I went to the UVAB meeting, which is they're getting their nonprofit status, but it's a community organization that wants the pool to thrive and continue. And so going to that meeting and from the discussion at the PRSA meeting, this group is just researching and looking at different communities and what they're doing with their pool and why is this pool only lasting this long and what are the other options? They're talking about the Osborne School. They're kind of back on that and they're picking apart the study that we paid to have done and just doing a deeper dive into a solution. They're not having it like this isn't the answer. And so it's really kind of cool to be a part of, to see that kind of part of the pool community kind of thrive and take action. And the non-government agency, it's really cool, passionate. So that's really cool for me to see. So that's all I've got.
Right. I was on vacation, so we're not have any meetings, so I have nothing to report.
All right.
Scary. I will also pass, and let somebody go.
All right, thanks, Mayor. Yeah, we had a downtown steering committee meeting this morning. It was 75% parking.
What?
It was the discussion was 75% about parking.
Anything specific?
Oh, they just grilling Shannon on everything parking because we start bringing Shannon to parking, to do parking update to keep the committees coordinated. And what we're finding is that the downtown steering committee is very much trying to act like a parking committee. So, a lot of questions about.
So that good
Now,
use of
again,
that
with
committee's time?
with the garage issue, being downtown, that's pertinent. And we'll continue to cross-pollinize these groups, but just saying that it was mostly about parking. There was a brief update about the SOMAS project with the pedestrian plaza project. Brantley provided that update. They will be providing the results of the survey that was conducted during our August 21st block party. That's the right date, right? The 21st. Let's see, what else? The River Shuttle operated its third weekend this past weekend. It transported another 190 individuals on 2 days. So that brings the season total for 3 weekends up to 648 passengers. So you think about that's got to be 300 cars that weren't parked at one of the put-ins.
At least.
And so we're averaging 92 riders per day. Last year, we did 325 over 22 days. So we are doing much better this year with the shuttle.
I have noticed that Icicle Road seems, I mean, there's still cars parking on Icicle, but it's not like it has been
No,
in previous
it's not.
years. I mean, yeah.
Let's see, the mayor and I met with Kathy Mulholland from she's the county administrator, about the upcoming sheriff's contract that expires at the end of this year. And she provided us with our new, numbers. And so we will be bringing that to you in the future, but we're looking at a 15.5% increase over 2025 for 2026, and then 4% per year for each contract year under that contract.
Oh, geez.
What was the increase?
15.5%.
At some point, we could just start our own police department with these prices.
You know what? Everybody's costs have gone up by at least that much since, I mean, this is a 4-year contract we're ending, right?
Are we over $1 million now?
No,
Not yet?
eight, so, no, and
And our
Cashmere,
reputation was over $1 million.
Cashmere's close to two.
Chelan.
I mean, Chelan,
Chelan,
I'm sorry,
Chelan.
Chelan is close.
Yeah, Cashmere pays roughly what we pay, a little bit less. They have a little less full-time equivalent.
Right.
Chelan pays double what we pay because they have double of the full-time equivalency in Chelan.
And they can't make it go at double to have their own, so there's no way that we would want it.
See the pool, we opened up the pool 5 days in, we had our first accidental fecal release, we had to close down the pool for 3 days. Just want to explain to the community why the pool has to close for so long. It's because it's a saltwater pool. When we have a liquid of diarrhea or vomit in the pool, we have to protect the public. So we shock the heck out of the pool, we bring the levels of chlorine way up, and now we have to hold them at those levels for more than a day. And then it takes time because of the nature of the pool for those levels to go back down to a level that is healthy to swim. So that is why it does take that long. We had already implemented 5-minute breaks during open swim to try to get ahead of this issue. It didn't work because parents were refusing to put their kids in swim diapers. We have increased we adopted a policy. It is ages 4 or under, no exceptions, must wear these reusable swim diapers to try to prevent these things from happening in the future. And we'll continue to have these 5-minute breaks during open swims to encourage people to go and relieve themselves or make sure their kids are relieving themselves in the middle sessions. We continue to work with ARC Architects on contracting for the first phase of our garage. And Brantley is going to be assisting with that project. And let's see. And then that is all I have for updates.
Thanks, Shelby.
Yeah.
Chantel.
Yeah. Just to add to PRSA, and I didn't hear you talk about it, but we did talk about the county and the assessor and the property tax collections. And I think through those very good discussions, they came to a similar resolution that you did as well. And that is, let's keep some goodwill going with the county. There is a good plan in place with the city to lend the funds. So at the end of the day, it just seemed like we're okay and in a good spot.
Thanks, Chantel.
Just a heads off, your August 12th study session, you're gonna see an exit conference for the audit. You haven't even had an entrance conference yet, but this one is just gonna be focused on the federal single audit portion, so you will still have a normal process for entrance and exit for the accountability and the financial that we're gonna do later this fall. And now that I'm all done with all my annual reports, I told you a few months ago that I had a few big ticket items to work on with annual reporting, and then the big goal is cost allocation, which is a policy review. Just so you're aware, the last time we completed adoption of the policy, it was in November of 2019. And since that time, we've had over 20+ new positions. So that is a big effect potentially on the policy. A lot of the positions added may have already been a similar type of position, so it won't be something completely new. It's just more people doing the same kind of work. But there are definitely quite a few new positions that have to be looked at and determined on how to allocate them. I did an internal review last time in November of 23 for the 24 through 26 budgets. And at that time, the changes of what people were doing from what the data that I gathered was so minute that it didn't warrant having to, one, change the policy, or two, really look at changing the applications that we already had in place for existing employees. But I do anticipate that we are going to potentially have some changes moving into our 27 through 29 budgets. So now is the time to reset that policy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a couple things. Our departments, we've been working with legal on code enforcement and how to make some tweaks to the code to give us a little more teeth and help with just better compliance. So we're still working through that. We actually met with the sheriff. And that was a helpful meeting this week. So more to come with that. With code enforcement, we just sent a letter out to all business owners downtown about the A-frame signs that were getting a little out of control. I did a walkthrough on Friday and right before I sent it out, and then Monday walked through town and did see some promising responses from folks, which is great. And the next step will be just doing a walkthrough next week and actually like writing some warnings, like, hey, this is what's wrong, this is what we need to correct, and giving them a certain time frame to correct those. And then for our code, if a sign is non-compliant in our right of way, we remove it. So we're trying to do the process. Education was the first component, sending the email out, hey, this is what our code says. Next component is actually the warnings, then actually taking signs. So we're hoping to see it clean up a little bit down there. That's a first step, but then we'll have some other enforcement issues. Yeah.
Our A-frame signs about tubing information, those are compliant, right? Blue ones?
Because government signs are exempt, although I wish ours.
I don't know if that's good messaging for us, though. We're gonna start pulling business A-frames and ours aren't compliant. I don't know if that's a good look for us.
Voluntary compliance would be good. I will defend our A-frame sign that's in front of City Hall and say, we are providing a public service. We're not trying to profit off anybody. We're giving something away.
And then, we did receive 60+ comments on the well site fence project for the shoreline substantial development permit. We are just now consolidating all of those because it was the end of the comment period to review. And the next step is issuing a decision. So those will all be considered and reviewed before a decision is issued. There's a lot to go through. So
Yeah.
I do want to make you and the public aware that it is a process. We do refer everything out to governmental agencies with jurisdiction. So Fish and Wildlife, Ecology, the tribes, archaeology. So we are including those that have the knowledge and expertise to evaluate this. Staff isn't just blindly checking a box.
We're putting the fence here.
Yeah, and then the design is, I mean, so my team is more of the shoreline impacts, and then Public Works is the design and what they need for that site. So, I just wanted to. The next step is a decision, and, that'll just take a couple weeks to work through all those comments. Leavenworth Meadows Building B received temporary occupancy yesterday, so we've got another one online, ready for rental. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Maggie.
Indeed.
Just have a couple of items. Portion of Enchantment Park playground is closed. There's a couple issues there. There's a slide that's broken at sharp edges. So that was, I'm not sure if it's already been removed, but that was the goal, was to remove that and board it off early this week. And there was a standalone, it's like a standalone seat toy thing that, it's covered in plastic, there's metal underneath it cracked. So the metal is exposed and someone got burned on it. So that has also been taken offline for now. We are hopefully lucky. It sounds like that equipment's 20 years old. We were able to find what seems like they're gonna work for replacement parts. Our team was just confirming some dimensions, but if you get any questions, that's why part of that playground is closed right now. It's just to repair those damages.
Where's this at?
Enchantment.
Enchantment, okay,
Playground.
got it, thanks.
The Icicle Road Transmission Main project, as you're fully aware, is still under night work. Starting tonight, Mill Street will be closed for them to work. Actually, looking at it, I don't know, they're saying that tonight it will start closing Mill Street. That way they can do tie-ins. When the new main go on the highway and the time on their side.
I thought that started last night, but.
They start right in Mill Street.
I thought it said
Closed.
the
Started there
21st.
last night. They closed it last night.
Yeah, it was the 21st, yeah.
Okay. So it's close enough. So they're just thinking about up to a week for that to be closed during. And then just a couple other items. We did get a good question about the cemetery. So while lots aren't available right now, we do have a wait list. So if people are interested, right now we're not advertising that, but if people call and are curious about purchasing a lot, we do have a wait list that they can get on. That's just so that we can give them notice directly once lots are available. So if you're receiving questions, feel free, they can just call the Public Works phone number directly and be placed on that wait list. And then the last item to bring to your attention, we have the annual reporting requirements for the cross connection control program. So that's backflow assemblies on people's private property for premise protection, and then also on some irrigation meters. It's inconsistent. There has been different interpretation over the years. So we're trying to clean up this program. Right now, it's really inequitable, and people are treated all sorts of different ways, just depending on who was in certain positions. When their permits were on Public Works side of things. So you will see, we have some proposed code revisions to clean that up as a starting point. So I think it was this meeting. Is that right? Yeah, so we set the public hearing for the next council meeting, those code revisions. And then I'm also going to scheduling a study session just to help you guys understand, like, this actually is a really important policy as part of our water system to protect the backflow prevention. So I want to give you more information and then kind of have you along for the ride as we develop the full policy and look at not only what we're doing for new development, but also what we're going to do to catch people up and really implement this program on existing connections. So just wanted that on the radar as well. And that's everything else.
And he would be. No, you first. It is interesting, to me. I don't. Backflow prevention, you know, I've had some awareness, but it seemed like it just came out of nowhere and all of a sudden now we have backflow. So when you present that information about why it's important, are you gonna have like this is actually what used to happen before we required backflow prevention? This is what the risk is of the backflow and how common it was, and that's why we're doing this.
And I don't have good data on like, this is when a backflow event occurred, but instead I can present what the risk is. And there's risk whether or not you have hazards on your property. But yeah, I will definitely be talking about.
Yeah, so that's the question I have is there a risk at every home?
Yeah.
Regardless
There's
of
different levels of
irrigation,
risk.
right?
Yes.
I mean, it's maybe a smaller risk if you don't have the irrigation, but is it required now at every home
Yes.
regardless?
Yes, well, not yet, but that's what the proposed code changes show for any new construction. There's a bunch of other requirements too, but under any new construction, residential or commercial, the premise isolation will be required. And then, for example, on a new residential home, premise isolation will be required, which is 1 But then under the uniform plumbing code, there would also be, if someone has inter-ground irrigation, there would be another assembly that's required where their irrigation tees off. And that's, again, like, we have to work in tandem on this, because that ultimately is under buildings jurisdiction, but that's coming from the uniform plumbing code. So people would have 2 devices. And I acknowledge that that's frustrating people. It's also really important to protect our system, so that's what we're looking at.
Well, the one is important for the system, the other one's important for the house,
Correct.
right? I
It's to protect the people who live
Right.
there ultimately from their own irrigation.
Right, from their own irrigation.
Which is why
So-
I think it's under the plumbing, but it's a life safety issue, and that's why it falls under.
So I'm sorry, I'm getting into the weeds here because, but. So do we also, are we requiring that both of those systems would need to be tested or just the one that's protecting the city?
This is where, so we've been getting into this, like, we try to sort through this, because we have got a lot of questions implementing BSI, the online reporting, the new online reporting program. It has just been a little bit more lax historically. And so now, because these letters go out, they're a lot more formal than they were previously, we're getting more questions. So it does depend, because we do have customers that are in the county, and customers that are in the city. In the county, we have jurisdiction over whatever is the first, ultimately, what's the device protecting from our system? Some people have premise isolation, so we're treating that as our device. Some people only have a device on the irrigation line. People who have both, we are only looking at their first heater, the premise isolation. And then the second technically would fall under the county's jurisdiction, be that would be under short-term building. But it does vary in the city. In the city, it would be required because we have jurisdiction and we essentially it's assist community development and reporting side. It is required to be tested annually, full devices here in city limits. So again, Chris and I have been talking about like a total overhaul of this program and what this might look like long-term to be more equitable and sustainable for people. So more to come on that, but we understand people are frustrated that it doesn't feel fair when someone's next door neighbor has irrigation and they have no devices. And then the person who's complaining is like, I don't even have irrigation. I have none of these risks, but I haven't said, well, why am I having to test it? So again, we're just trying to help educate people right now. This is why, like, long-term, eventually everyone will have premise isolation. We're not there yet, but we're.
On a lighter note, I've been aware of a bunch of graffiti lately. Did it all pop up at once, or was it like, has it been coming?
It's been reporting. I couldn't tell you. I'd have to ask Marks because they really are more in tune to.
So I'm just curious, have you heard anything from those guys, or, yeah, it just seemed like
They
there was a lot.
reported to me kind of across the board from staff, from the public.
It's ongoing, but it seemed like recently there was just, maybe some dude just rolled into town and with his buddies and just like hit it. A bunch of different spots, all over.
Marks would really have to tell me like what that frequency.
They just
is,
take
right?
care of it? Is that, I'm sure I've read the
Yeah.
process, they're just like, they paint over it. Yeah, okay.
They deal with it. I think it's quite a bit right now, like. We
Yeah,
are trying to address the more, not to still make these terms, but like safety on the playground and these types of things first, and then we'll get to graffiti.
yeah. Is that a report to the sheriff thing too? I think we've had some gangs that you report to Wenatchee has the database.
In the past.
Yeah, I just, yeah,
Speak to that. I don't know.
okay.
Like, I'm not entirely sure in our first.
The last time I know that we had the sheriff involved was when we had the break-in in the Osborne. And
Yeah,
that was 2 summers ago.
yeah, okay. I'm just curious if you knew anything about it.
Wait, there is a lot right now, you know, it's on bridges, it's on, I think, that's all got tagged.
It's called summertime.
Walls,
Lot.
like, there's a lot right now.
Alright.
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
No, we have executive session.
And that.
I knew that.
I moved to
Right
right
here.
executive session.
Anyone.
I would entertain a motion to recess into executive session for 20 minutes for RCW 4230-110-15 pending litigation.
Yeah, I'll reach out so we can
Yeah,
maybe
we
go down
looked at
that
it.
corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
These
Yeah,
people are
sometimes-
still attendees.
Yeah, I know, I gotta. I
Foiled
did something.
So when did it go out that we have an executive?
It's on our agenda.
Was it on our agenda?
Okay.
Kind of you changed last summer.
Hiding at the bottom.
Yeah.
Can I check and see if the mayor's one? Sure. Just remove them. They've been here the whole time. Just move
There should
them.
be.
I just want to.
Somewhere in the seventh inning.
Are we still recording?
They're not there. That's why they.
We are now back in regular session. And I would entertain a motion.
I move to opt out of the purchase.
Wait, for a pause, or, oh, no, we're not, no.
No, we're good.
Okay, sorry, it was just yours, sorry, sorry. I just want to make sure it was on record. Sorry, go.
I move to opt out of the purchase and sale agreement for the Norling Lane property.
Second.
Moved by Shane, seconded by Clint. Any other discussion? All those in favor, let me see your hands. Any opposed? Okay, it was 6-1.
I just wanted to see my name in the paper.
I moved to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. I'll log
Thank you,
on.
Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom.
Second, all in favor? All right, let's go.
Oh, God. I just.
Sure she'll watch that.
That's the first,